Hi, my name is Jazz, and I'm going to show you the basic how to do just, what you need to know about Paint Tool Saw and how to use it and stuff like that. I've been a side user for almost 2 years, and the program has really changed my life because it's different, it's more advanced to me because the artwork comes out very high quality and stuff. So, anyway, what I have here is a sketch I did. It was nothing fancy, but I decided to draw my OC. Yeah, she's a little cute. Anyway, I sketched this and I had to do a little bit more work because I was just, randomly sketching. So when you upload a sketch to Paint Tool Size, pretty easy as if you upload it to from to Photoshop, and you just go to open to wherever your file is saved, and it will be imported here. And before you start drawing, this was something even I had to get used to because me, I just don't care. I just want it to look good, but when you're becoming popular and you take dedication to your work, you got to make sure proportions and all this other stuff is aligned right and that the picture will flow right. So right here is the mirror tool right here. You can inverse it to see what mistakes, and I had already pointed out mistakes because I already fixed them and so forth. So we go back to normal, and up here on the top is a very great tool. I love using stabilizer because it is very effective, and my hand is wobbly even when I draw without my tablet. The stabilizer is only good for tablets. If you do not have a drawing tablet such as Wacom or whatever drawing tablet that is compatible with your computer, then you won't be able to use the stabilizer tool. You can set it all the way to 0, which is normal, all the way to S7, which is here. I use either S5, S6, or S7 to stabilize my hand when I'm drawing. So that's pretty important. Okay, all of these are just rotate tools. That's all it is. You can also rotate here and zoom to whatever angle, blah blah blah. You can stop by pressing the stop button to reset it, and it's going to reset you back to your default. So, okay. Also, here is the angles that I also mentioned about from positive to negative, just in case. I mean, all of this is here. So, if you ever mess up and you accidentally hit like negative 90 degrees, just hit back around here on the stop button to go back to your original settings. Right here is the zoom tool, as I also just said earlier about the zoom tool. Zoom tools is located over here as well. If you don't feel comfortable doing it over here, you can do it on top. The selection button, that's just there. And these two are your redo and your undo buttons. Like, say if you make a mistake, you can redo and undo, or you can press the quick keys Control Z to go back. And yeah, that's pretty much it on the top bar. Over here is your color wheels, your sliders, all of this stuff. Now, some of my colors are located here in this little box. Say that I want to save a color, but you don't know how to save a color. You can pick any empty box. It doesn't have to be specific or whatever. You can just click an empty box and right click on your mouse and just set. And the color that you picked will be right here. But you have to select it. It has to be selected by either this one or this one. So let's go back and bring that back. Oops. I just like to open all of them sometimes. Okay. Well, that'll work for now. So, right here is your basic tools, your magic wand, which really comes in handy when it comes to coloring. Sometimes I like to do it you know, to be lazy or something, but it gets the job done. And Magic Wand, when you ink something, you can select that area and you can fill it with any color you want. I'll go into that in a second. You have your rotate tool, you have the magnify, you have the move tool, you have the lasso, the selection, the eyedropper, the hand. You have all of these these moves here. Now there are some. I don't know. There's some tools that you can actually import into Sai. I heard that you can, and I think you have to download them from different places. But it's not like Photoshop where you can just import brushes and so forth. But I mean, I'm just okay with the regular stuff here. So let's move on. Um, these tools right here, you got your pen, your airbrush, your brush, your water tool, which is very effective. It's also good for blending. Honestly, I used to use blur because the blur, I don't use it for blending, but I just use it to create some type of illusion, especially when it comes to skin coloring and so forth. You got your water, you got your bucket, you got your binary pen, your ink pen. They just have some really useful drawing tools that are very effective for your artwork. You got your select and your deselect. Say if you got the Magic Wand tool and you can't select all of the areas on your inked artwork, you can use the select to fill that in, to manually fill it in. Or if you use too much of the select tool, you can deselect it and it will erase only the selection that you went over the lines. So these are very good. And down here is your density, your minimum size for your brush pen, whatever the size. You can also click down here to make it bigger. The size is just gonna magnify the brush or the tool that you have. So if you go zoom in, it will become bigger. So don't worry if it's not gigantic or whatever. And you also have your brush sizes here that go all the way to 500. And your advanced settings are down here. You can only do that if you really want to do something, or you're in a professional. But we're just going through the basics. So anyway, we're done with here. You can choose your texture on this left side here. I don't really mess with this because I don't know what they specifically do. I may have to learn more about what the texture and effects do in Paint Tool Sai, so I'm not gonna sit here and make up something about what it probably can do, but we'll just go into that in another time. So you have your mode, which is very important also. Your mode ranges from normal to binary color. I think one Paint Tool Sai had luminosity and binary color, but it just has binary color here. These are your blending modes. So it's kind of like Photoshop with their blending modes, but it's only a few that are available. So we go back to my sketch here, and on the bottom left corner, we have this box, which is very, very, very useful. Everything in Paint Tool Sai is very useful, and I hope that people will understand how to use it better and teach themselves how to get better acquainted with Paint Tool Sai. So down here I have folders. The folders are important because you don't want to make layer after layer after layer and you don't know which goes which. So before I start inking or doing anything, I put everything in their own folders and I name them to make sure that is what I'm gonna do next. Everything's in order, blah blah blah. I don't have to worry all that other crap. So in order to make a folder, you go up here on your top and the folder will be new layer set. You click that and a new folder appears. If you double click it, it will come up as layer name. You can basically do whatever you want. Say you want eyes or something like that. Even though I have a folder for eyes, just an example. You don't want the folder, you can delete the whole folder. It won't do anything. For this, now this is incredible. It is a layer called New Line Work layer. You click that. This is what I basically use to ink all my drawings because I used to do it the other way. This is before I found out what this particular technique could do, what this particular layer could do. Now this line work layer is only for line art. Now, I will tell you the difference between this and just a regular layer. Now, with the regular layer, you have all your drawing tools, your paint bucket, and all that stuff. You have that there. That's just a regular layer to do whatever you want. With a line work layer, you have your pen, your eraser, your weight, color, edit, pressure, select, deselect, curve, and line. Now, these are just basic drawing tools. And what is so fabulous about this is, say if you don't have a pen, a drawing pen, tablet, Wacom, whatever, and you really want to just mess around with Paint Tool SAI. You want to be like, I don't have a tablet, but what am I going to do? So you get the curve tool. The curve tool, very effective, super effective. It will save your life sometimes, but I wouldn't necessarily use it all the time on your art unless you just want to do it that way. I can't tell you. It's just how I guess it's just how I feel on most tools that are in Paint Tool SAI. So anyway, if you want to start drawing or anything, you just want a simple trace, you just do this. You just select a place to trace and click and click and click and click and click. Now you press enter. I press enter to close that line. Now what this does is the curve tool, it's going to follow your hand movements on your mouse. It works also well with a pen tablet. It doesn't matter. As long as you get the basis of what this tool can do, it can save you a lot of trouble. Now, I just did a little demonstration of what the tool can do. Okay. Also say that this line is too big. You want to decrease it? No problem. Go to weight, which is right next to color, and you can set it to any size you want, from 0.5 to 10. Now, you see this little icon here that looks like a line tool, just basic line tool. When you click on the line art increases. Say if you go, let's go to default 0.5. Click that line again, it's small. It's very good because you don't have to go back and redraw the entire thing all over again. Not only is it annoying, is it also a big time waster. So if you ever feel that your line art has too much weight, just click on the weight tool, set your size, and click on that line, and you're good to go. Now for color, say I don't want brown. Say I want something else, like black. You can choose any color from your color wheel. I prefer color wheel because it's more efficient. You can play around with stuff. If you want to do sliders, that's okay too. Now, it's the same thing we did with the weight. We're going to go back and select this line here. Turns it to black. Easy, right? Just easy. And it's not hard. The more you practice, the more you get into Paint Tool SAI, you will love it. You will love it because not only will it help you with your art, it will make drawing and coloring much more fun. Because with me, I used to not like coloring at all. I hated it because I thought maybe I wouldn't become a digital artist. But then when I applied myself and I gave Paint Tool SAI a try, I started seeing results. I started seeing my art get better, and it's just having fun. It's not about who can draw the best or who can color the best. It's about making good art and being proud of what you create. So let's move on. If you want to edit, that's cool. You can do this with your line. You can drag it to any direction you want. Now we hit Control Z to go back. Or you can do pressure. Now pressure, you have to actually slide your mouse up and down because it's just gonna adjust the CP's pressure, which is right down here. If you don't want to do the pressure, that's fine. Now, the line tool is, you can basically use this for like doing backgrounds and such. So I'll give you a demonstration. I try to hold down shift so I can at least have a good line, but sometimes shift doesn't want to work on here. So it's just best to make sure it's going to be straight as possible. Unless I could find another shortcut that would provide a straight line without me hoping and praying that it's going to look right. And for the pen, it only works well with a tablet. Because like I mentioned before, the stabilizer is your best friend. The stabilizer will never, ever, ever, ever deceive you any kind of way, because it can help you redraw how you want it instead of just relying on the curve tool to do it for you. And like I said, the stabilizer is great. It's really, really great. I love the stabilizer. But the only thing is that sometimes you have to set your own pen pressure, which will be, I think it will be here, if I'm not mistaken. But I do it from my computer manually to get a really good, feel on what my handwriting, all this other stuff I want to do on my tablet will affect me. I want to write the same way I would write on paper, and this will work. It will really work. And when you have your tablet plug in and you just mess around with stabilizer, you will see the difference. You will see how curved the lines are, and etc. So we move on. Let's delete this layer. Wow, really big. Okay, with this, redrawing what you scan onto Paint Tool is not a, it's not a really big deal. You're just gonna redraw. You can do it however you want, make adjustments, all the other stuff. We won't need the original sketch art because it's just there. We're drawing over it. So it's best to make your folders and layers and set all of this to multiply. Whenever you really start coloring, set it to multiply, because if you just set it to normal, it's going to look funky. I don't necessarily put multiply on line art because it doesn't belong. So if you want to put multiply on your line art, that's cool, that's great. Whatever, you can do whatever. This is just my way. It doesn't have to be the right way, but it's something to help someone if they don't understand what these features do. Down here is your memory load, and for some odd reason, Paint Tool SAI takes some memory, but not a lot. It just depends. I think it's mostly because of how many side saves you do. I don't know, but I saw that somewhere, so I don't know. It's